Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. It is the DEWLAX Show LCA. We have a special guest with us today. You guys probably have heard him at a tournament before you've seen him. He's a tall dude, so you've probably seen him and heard him at the same time. He's from DEWLAX. He is the owner. He is the creator. He is the man behind the magic, Mr. Dwayne Wilkins.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Appreciate you. Always glad to be out here talking about lacrosse all day long and wherever we are.
Definitely.
We got players in different places, so absolutely.
Definitely. So look, I want to thank you for coming in. Everybody who's out there, please, parents who are trying to select different clubs, it is time to listen up and learn. Dwayne is a wealth of knowledge. He knows a lot that's going on in the landscape of lacrosse. He's put a lot of good kids in college. There's a lot of good kids that have come out the program that probably haven't played as well that are great people on the other end. So I want to have a great interview. I know it's going to be a great interview because this guy here has been one of the perennial powerhouses of lacrosse in New Jersey for years. And I think it's going to be for years to come as well. So let's get into it. Look, tell me a little bit about your background, how you created DEWLAX. I know there's a lot that's going around that, so wherever you want to start, I'm cool with.
It's interesting. Unlike a lot of my peers, I was not a high school coach wanting to do this just to add to the pockets.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of coaching since college, if you will, of a lot of different sports.
Yeah.
So I've coached everything from football to, shockingly, ski instruction and ski racing.
Oh, wow.
See,
I didn't even know that.
All the way to some boys and girls lacrosse, and had a lot of fun doing that. I always wanted to coach, and I'm more of a strategist, but my life has been kind of on the corporate side. I'm a sales and marketing guy that by trade.
Yeah.
Work for companies such as Kraft Foods and ESPN.
Oh, wow.
And what I found was when my kids were, I coached on the side a lot of different sports, and I always believed in connection.
Yep.
And in addition to X and O's. So the way I approach this is all about the athlete. Versus really the specific sport. It's how do I help that athlete get to whatever level that they want to get to?
Great.
So amazingly, this is our 16th year, which is insane.
Congratulations.
So I'm really excited for that. We've got a lot of kids here in New Jersey, of course, but we also are in Connecticut.
Oh, that's great.
We have kids who come from Massachusetts to our Connecticut program, as well as Vermont to our Connecticut program,
Wow.
as well as Rhode Island. For here in New Jersey, we had kids from New York City, as well as Orange County in New York,
Wow.
as well as kids from Pennsylvania who come, and they come primarily for our coaching, which
Great.
is what we're most proud of.
Great.
Yeah.
So look, you just talked about, you gave us a lot to unpack. Congratulations on 16 strong years.
Amazing.
That is awesome.
And we're girls only, which is kind of crazy because we're all about the girls here. So
Yeah.
this is all about young women.
Yeah.
So to be successful.
No, I think that's great. Look, in your coaching background and also in your corporate background, what I tend to find is somebody who's really good on the coaching side or really good on the business side. Sometimes with lacrosse, it's hard to find that middle ground. Right. How did you find that middle ground? Look, you have to be a very smart person to be able to do it. I understand you're a very intelligent person. I've talked to you before in the past. Finding that middle ground is very difficult. How did you find that middle ground for yourself?
Well, it's funny you said that because when I talk about this business,
Yeah.
And again, I'm coming from kind of the corporate world, but when I talk about this business, it's threefold, right?
Yeah.
You have coaches who are fantastic with X's and O's. You got coaches who are fantastic on what I call the soft side, which is connecting with athletes and getting them, to the points of where they got to be.
Yeah.
And then you have coaches who are really good with the administrative side, and it's hard to have kind of all three of those.
Yeah.
I think that I've been blessed and lucky because I do focus on the athlete. Here at our program, it's more than just coaching the game. I'm a trainer for Positive Coaching Alliance, so I believe in making sure that it's a positive environment for young people.
Great.
But that does not mean that there's no criteria.
Yeah.
Right. That does not mean that there's a foundation of skill that has to be consistent amongst the program.
Right.
So one of the things we talk about in our program is about balance, and I'm a big believer of I'll do a TikTok with you, but I'll also say, okay, it's time to put the game face on. Let's go to work.
Love it.
Which, quite frankly, is how corporate works, right?
Yeah.
You no matter how much friends are you out with drinks with your colleagues, if you've got a report due the next morning, then you got to get that report due.
Yep.
And what I try to do is think about that long road for these young athletes. Not so many are going to play for, the professional women's lacrosse league. Right. So what I want them to be is good people.
Yep.
Right. In our program, for example, if practice starts at 6 o'clock, 5:45 the whistle blows.
I love that.
And we do that because I don't want athletes walking in their slides, looking at their phones, and saying, "Okay, I guess it's time to practice." No, whistle's blown, and we try to go.
Yeah.
Right. So we are big on trying to teach both responsibility to yourself and accountability to your teammates.
Yeah.
And we do that and I tell parents all the time that we are here to teach athletes and coach athletes.
Yeah.
And we're girls only. And we get that. So 98% of our staff are female. We have, our coaches are, NCAA, champions, all the way down to club players. The most important thing to me is, can you connect with athletes?
I love that.
Right? Are you one who can teach and explain the game in a relevant manner?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what our goal is as a program. Right. So I don't care if you go to Duke University or Drew University.
Yeah.
We have kids going to both.
Yeah.
We have kids at University of North Carolina.
Yeah.
We got kids at Northwestern, right? But we also have kids at Muhlenberg College or Western New England College. So it doesn't matter to me. I want you as an athlete to reach wherever your skills take you.
I love that.
And our job is to try to get you there.
I love that.
So that's what's important about us. We have over 526 families in our program, which is a pretty large, sizable program.
Wow.
What's also very different is the guy who runs the show. I do all of our clinics. I do a lot of our clinics.
Yeah.
So the reason why I do that is because, and I show up, is because I want to be able to talk to, a college coach, and I can talk about their journey.
Yeah.
I can talk about, hey, this kid's a 2-sport athlete, or hey, when we started the program, she was a soccer player, and now she's a lacrosse player because we helped her with her love for the game. So our program is more than just X and O's.
Yeah.
It's really trying to help the complete lacrosse athlete, because at the end of the day, I want them to be a contributor to society.
Love it.
That's the bottom line. We're competitive as hell.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
I know.
I think we've coached against
First hand,
each other.
I know.
Well, I haven't, but one of my coaches had.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I want our girls to be able to get on that field and ball out.
Yeah.
Right. But be good humans.
Yeah.
Our girls line their bags up. Our girls, pick each other up. Our girls pick up our opponents.
Yeah.
And I talk about those things because that's what life's all about.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, man. I'm talking. You giving me some good stuff to go off of today. This is good, and we're supposed to cap it. People, y'all know me, and I'm trying not to talk too long because I don't want to abuse too much of his time. He has some things to do today. But look, I mean, you touched on a lot of subjects, and I think one was the connectivity.
Yes.
That's something that that's my part of the game that I fall in love with, right? You're able to speak to some of these young women's journeys, right? As college coaches come around, I think one thing that's a big general misconception by parents, and look, I'm going to be a lacrosse parent at some time. My daughter's going to play. But one of the misconceptions is that you go to a place, and just because you're there, you get recruited. And just because you're there, somebody speaks nice about you. I think it's very important what Coach said, that he's a part of all of these practices. He's a part of all these clinics because he can see the development. He can speak to the development, right? There's certain things that are innate things that a coach who's around you all the time can pick up, and certain things that a coach who's not around you all the time won't pick up, right? You can go into practice some places and coaches can see you and they can say, oh, she's not a great player. Okay, yeah, but what attributes does she have that contributes to the team? What attributes does she have that might contribute to a college team? You might be able to speak to those different nuanced things, and I think that is really on point, and parents, that's something that you want to take notice to. The man is there. I've seen him. I've heard him. I've been around, and he knows every kid's name, and I think that's super important too. That makes the kids feel special. That's that connectivity. That's making an effort to know who you're around and to make it personable, because these kids really do want to play for people that they respect, that they know, that are always around, that are always in their fan club, but that are pushing them to do a little bit more. So, man, I mean, you spoke about the business side. You spoke about the connectivity. Okay. let's go into this question. What's your favorite thing about when the summer season starts up? We're at the tail end of the summer season, I know, but when it's starting up, what makes you feel like, okay, I'm ready, it's time to go, I feel great?
I'm always ready to go. So let's be clear on that. You know,
I love that.
You know, I was
Yeah.
a natural kind of high energy guy, and
Yeah.
I think that it's interesting to me because, and I talk to our coaching staff a lot about this, and this is part of my corporate background, and that I love coaching young players. I love coaching athletes, whether they're a second grade just starting out or a junior kind of ready to play at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
But I also love kind of working with our coaching staff.
Great.
You know, and this is my corporate background, because you're only as good as your team that you have around you.
100%.
And we're truly blessed. I've got, you know, coaches who've been coaching for 40 years, and I've got coaches who've coached for their first time as a college player or even a high school senior.
Wow.
And I spent a lot of time with them on the X's and O's, but more importantly, talking about the athletes. You know, how do we take this athlete and maximize their athleticism?
Yeah.
You know, how do we take this athlete and showcase them, and based on what their skill set is, so that a college coach will recruit that athlete?
Love that.
Now, we know the warts because we're with the athlete,
Yeah.
right? But at the end of the day, you know, there's a place for all players to play.
Yeah.
And you know, yes, everybody says, oh, I want to play at, you know, Villanova or Georgetown or UNC or what have you, but there are a lot of schools out there.
Yeah.
My own daughter went to the University of New Haven,
Yep.
and quite honestly, I didn't know University of New Haven from a hole in the wall until they started, you know, looking at her and wanting to recruit her, and then I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. A 10,000 student school. They got a Blue Lights football team. She got to the NCAAs. She had a good experience,
That's
and so
awesome.
at the end of the day, you know, you just got to peel back the onion a little bit, understand what the players need.
like
And
that.
what we do in our program, which is different in that, you know, like I have a woman who is in charge of all of our second, third, and fourth graders.
Okay.
That's all she does.
Wow.
So she is deeply focused
Mm-hmm.
on that growth and what they need to do entering into club lacrosse as a
Awesome.
small-sided athlete.
Awesome.
And then we have another person who's in charge of fifth grade.
Yeah.
Because that transition from small-sided
Yep.
to full field is a big one.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
especially when you're coming from rec and you're parent taught. And no offense to parents, we need all the parents in the world.
He gonna be nice about it. Coach can be nice. I'm not gonna be nice about it. Parents, y'all need to go around these clubs and you need to get some lessons. Maybe y'all can hang out around DEWLAX and they'll teach you a little something. But please, 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 please do yourself a favor. Go out, get some training.
Yes.
There's USA lacrosse stuff. There's a lot of different training that's out there. If you ask, somebody will be apt to say, of course, come around. I'll teach you something. This is a good guy to learn from. All right, I'm sorry.
I was a trainer for U.S. lacrosse for a while. I certified a
y'all
whole
see?
bunch of folks in New Jersey over time.
Ask and you shall receive.
But aside from that, I think that, you know, giving them a strong foundation
Yeah.
from athlete to athlete, from grade to grade is important.
Yeah.
You know, what we do in our program, there are specific benchmarks
Yeah.
that are for every single grade. And that's not only here in New Jersey, but it's also in Connecticut. I should be able to pick up a kid from, you know, East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, and drop them in with a person from Chatham.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they'll be able to understand the two-girl game and how we defend and
like that.
small-sided, you know, what we do, you know, on small-sided gameplay and how to work three-girl game and how to work a slide defense and how aggressive you should hedge. All of those types of things. Same language, same, you know, benchmarks, same everything, no matter where you are. And that foundation grows from year to year. So by the time they get to sophomore and junior year, they're everything that they need to be recruited and play at the next level.
Great.
So that's you know, we're very methodical about that, and that's I think that's part of, I guess, what I'll call my corporate training. Is being methodical. You know, work your plan and plan your work.
I like that.
And it's just an important part of being a successful coach. It's not just picking up a bag of balls and saying, you know, go get it. This is a great sixth grade group of girls and have fun. No, we have specific benchmarks so that they can be successful. And that's our goal.
Awesome.
Right?
Awesome. Okay, so I'm a new parent, which I'm not a new parent, but I'm going to put myself in those shoes, right? I'm a new parent. I am looking for a club. I think you've already given me a solid foundation of why I should explore DEWLAX. What else? Let's say I'm a high school parent now at this point, and my child is like okay, Dad, Mom, I'm at that point where I think I need to join onto a club. I think I'm ready. Varsity is right around the corner. I've been doing pretty well. I played for my local, town, and things went pretty decently. I want to hop into a club. What would you tell that parent that's exploring DEWLAX? They're like, okay, I've heard a lot about DEWLAX. I've seen the colors out there. I've seen the tents. I've seen it all. I've seen you guys play. You guys are very disciplined in your approach to the game, which, kudos to you guys for being disciplined in your approach, because it's not easy to get to that point. I see other clubs, and look, no knock on other clubs, but, as you go through the ranks, just like you're saying, if you don't have a disciplined way to move forward, things can get kind of convoluted when game time comes around. If you're confused and don't know which way to go, that sits back on the coach, that sits back on everybody else who hasn't done that planning. When you what is it? When you plan to fail, you fail to plan. That's one of those. There's a saying around it. You guys can go look it up. Google's right around the corner, or you can AI, whatever you want to use. So if you don't plan to, do well, you're not going to do well. Right. You guys are very disciplined in your approach. Like I said, kudos to you guys. But I'm that high school parent, and I'm exploring. Besides what you just told me, coming up through that 2nd through 4th grade and then the 5th grade, why should I explore DEWLAX?
That's a great question. And, one of the things that our approach is athlete first.
Yeah.
So what that means is I'm a sales and marketing guy, so the first thing I would do is ask you questions.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a survey that we send out that asks, and it's really for the families to have the discussion even before they come talk to me.
Great.
So, for example, do you want to travel 3 hours away, or do you mind going across the country?
Yeah.
Do you want to just make the team and walk around with the colors, or do you want to contribute?
Yeah.
Do you want, a mega-sized program like, Rutgers that has 35,000 students?
Yeah.
Or does big mean just 15,000 students because you went to a high school that only has 1,000 students?
Yeah.
What does good look like to you?
Yeah.
Right. So what kind of academics do you have?
I love that.
Right. So
Great
there are
question.
3, and I call them the 3 A's. It's academically. Can you get there academically? So you could be admissible, of course.
Yeah.
Can you play athletically?
Yeah.
Right. And the most important thing, which is not an A, but financially.
Yep.
Right. Because these schools, they could be over $100,000 nowadays, which is absolutely. It's huge.
I'm gonna need that NIL. I'm gonna need the scholarship.
So there's schools that are 50, 60 grand. But at the end of the day, what is your goal?
Yeah.
Right? How I had a coach who coached for us, and she's a national champion at Princeton.
Nice.
And one of the things she said to me, she said, Dwayne, you know what? I actually didn't like school because it was a lot of work. I wasn't a natural student.
Yeah.
I worked my tail off, and I kind of held on by my fingers, and yes, I got a chance to walk away with a chip, and I was super excited about that.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know if I would want my kids to go through that type of experience.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, you know what? I love that you said that.
Yeah.
Because everybody likes the holy grail of the chip.
Yep.
But know your kid, and let's
Absolutely.
talk about this. I will say, and I say this at our tryouts, the biggest influence in a young person's life is parent, teacher, and coach.
Yep.
And we take the coaching part very seriously. Not only does Dwayne do that, but we talk about this as coaches across our program.
Great.
And our coaches actually care.
Yeah.
So if you're a new parent or a parent who wants to get their kid recruited, right, it's more than just listening to, the person running the program and looking at their list of recruits and prospects.
Yep.
It's having a deeper conversation. Have a conversation with alum, or have a conversation with people who are in college,
I like
or
that.
have a conversation with players that are either in the program or not in the program, alum or not, and talk about that journey.
Great.
Are there touch points where I know in our program, Dwayne is involved with literally every single player who wants to get recruited.
Great.
And we do quarterly meetings, quarterly Zooms. We talk to the players. I have a staff. One of our coaches, a woman who runs our Connecticut product, is a former college coach. She loves doing this as well.
Great.
We'll have one-on-ones, call anytime, and we'll have a conversation with you about what your goals and needs are. And it's not just the top 5 or 6 kids on the team.
Right.
We can make sure that players number 17, 18, 19 get as much love
Big time.
as players number 1, 2, 3, or 4.
That's
I think
big
that's
time.
really, really important
Yeah.
to any program, because I'm a parent of 3 club playing cool kids, and they're all different,
Yep.
and they're all great kids, but if I'm paying something, I want to make sure I talk about them as humans,
I love
and
it.
I'm able to do that, and I think that's important. So that's the lens of how we try to frame this whole thing called club lacrosse.
I love it.
Now, again, the college recruiting side, we're all over it. I happen to stand out
Yeah.
with college coaches
Yep.
because I like the sales and marketing end. I have,
Nice.
and we've, I think we've had a chance to compete. I don't remember
Oh, yeah.
one of my coaches were coaching, but I walked the other sideline to talk to college coaches while they're there, and
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to be hard pressed to find the person running the show having a relationship with college coaches.
Yep.
Working the sidelines with college coaches while your daughter's playing.
I love
it just
that.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I like doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it a fun and successful thing. So if you're a new parent that has a kid who wants to play collegiately, this is where you should come.
Wow.
I don't think
Love
anybody. We're like Avis. We're going to keep trying harder to make sure that things happen.
No, that's great. That's great. I love that. Okay, so I know your time is limited.
Yes.
And we're getting right to that time.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you 2 more questions. My second to last question is, in club lacrosse, there's a lot that's great. There's a lot that is and there's some that's like, okay, this is par for the course. If you had your opportunity to put your fingerprint on anything in club lacrosse and not just DEWLAX, I'm talking across the landscape of girls lacrosse in New Jersey, what would you change, or would you not change anything? And not a loaded question, so it doesn't have to be something negative. It could be anything.
I'm going to say this brand agnostically, which means forget DEWLAX, but I was a JGLA conference president as well here in New Jersey. So
Yeah.
I preface this from a parent perspective.
Okay.
I think parent education is the most important thing
I love this.
in this space.
I love this.
Because as much as I want to educate, and I'm happy to, I'll talk about anything, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
There are your child.
Yep.
So I would strongly encourage you as a parent not to say, okay, well, all of my neighbors are doing it, so my kid's just going to follow the neighbors because it's convenient and I can get a carpool and I don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Each program has a different culture and different connectivity with your athlete.
Yeah.
And when I get parents who leave my program, and I say, listen, as long as you're happy, as long as your child's happy, I'm happy.
There we go.
And I want your kid to be happy no matter what. Just do a little research, understand what the goals are and the space is.
Absolutely.
And try to be educated about the process.
Yep.
And don't keep doing the same thing over and over again
Insanity.
if it's not working for you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations and people are like, I stayed 3 more years and it's just because that's what we're used to. And I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Gotcha.
And woulda, coulda, shoulda is a challenge.
Doesn't
It's
get
not
you
gonna
anywhere.
it's not gonna help you.
Right. Right.
So those and not to just put everything on the parent, but I think as everybody has a different club, everybody has a different idea for their club.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different culture for their club.
Absolutely.
Do that research and see what makes the most sense.
I love that.
This is about your child.
Yep.
And I want, and no one's a panacea of perfection.
I got you.
No matter what.
Yeah.
But there are programs that are genuinely trying to help kids.
Yeah.
And then there's programs that might be just trying to get as many bodies as possible.
Yep.
And it's all about what's going to be best for your child.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, last question.
Okay,
And I
go ahead.
promise this is the last
It's all good.
question.
I'm not
I feel
rushing.
like I want to revisit and chill with you again at some point.
We could do it another time.
We'll definitely get together. So, look, man, you've been going strong for 16 years. That is a very long time.
Oh yeah.
With the knowledge base that you have now, with the understanding that you have now, you go back to year 1. You get to sit down across the table with year 1 coach and you. You get to give him one piece of advice.
Yeah.
What would that advice be?
That's a really good question, and you can say this in almost every industry or anything that you're doing. And I got a 20-some-odd-year-old son, and I talk about all the time. There's wisdom that comes with time.
I love it.
So when I started DEWLAX, I had the end game in mind, which means that I was a competitive. So I had a coach with me. I don't know if you know her. Her name is Gio, and she is
I know her.
ridiculously competitive as well.
She is more competitive than anybody I know.
She was my first hire, and she and I were like, you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if this is our first minute. We're going to compete. And as a result, I was focused on making sure our girls were as competitive and gritty as possible.
Yep.
And they were, which was great.
Absolutely.
However, if I was sitting across from myself, I would have probably not been so rigid in setting the foundation. Now, the foundation is strong because I was rigid, but I didn't necessarily have to be so rigid on every single athlete, because each athlete is different.
Yeah, they respond
and they respond differently. And I was very different with all athletes that we worked with.
Yeah.
But it was kind of that much, you know. So my barometer was here and here, right? But now it's this much because kids are different, and I get that and I understand that. Yeah. So we went from 3 teams to 30, which is freaking awesome, right? But I would have said to myself, I said, it's okay because each athlete is different. Yeah. I already knew no one kind of was me because I'm a African-American male doing this, right? Yeah. I'm a male doing this, right? But at the end of the day, I think that everyone learns differently, and I think you as a coach have to respond accordingly to that.
Look, man, I could probably question you and talk to you for another 40 minutes.
Yeah, we got to do part 2, man. I'm ready.
But I want to say, before we go out, if you don't know who Gio is, look up Giovanna. Her maiden name was Buono, B-U-O-N-O, at Kane University. She probably still holds records there. Yes. Was one of the most competitive, nastiest players that you could find. Always had a smile on her face until she had to play. That's when she turned into a different person. Basketball was the same.
100%.
Oh,
she was a two-sport athlete. Kate probably could have played anywhere back in those days.
100%.
But now she's married with kids.
Good
which is
for
fantastic.
her, man. Good for her.
And it's actually fun, being around for 16, 17 years or so.
Yeah.
I've got coaches who joined me early, and now they are having babies.
Wow.
And they're having kids who are actually at the point where
they're getting ready to come play,
which is absolutely mind-boggling. I think I was 12 when I started. Yeah, I was probably 12, 13, so I'm staying young.
Wow. But look, I want to thank you for your time.
Anytime.
Look, I really appreciate you hopping on with me, and I appreciate you being the first coach, owner that's on with me. Super special to me to have you on.
Appreciate it.
Definitely want to do the part 2. Anybody who's out there, parents, please, if you had a tough time understanding, what I like to do is rewind, go back, rewatch it one more time. I'm telling you, there's some serious gems in there. DEWLAX is a great place for kids. It's a great place for kids to grow, learn, understand, move, go through college, all these different things. A great place for them to come back to as well. I know a lot of DEWLAX athletes. I know a lot of DEWLAX coaches, great people. So if you're looking, this is a great place to start. Get online, fill out what you need to fill out, answer those questions, talk with your family, and make the best decision for yourselves. Once again, thank you again.
Appreciate you, man. Always.